What's going on, everybody? Welcome to your weekend astrology forecast for the weekend of March 12th and the 13th of 2022. Astrologer Brian Scarborough here, Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. Hope you're all doing outstanding. Hope you had a great week. Friday was sensitive. It was crazy. I had to make moves and ended up booking a flight for 6:45 in the morning this Saturday, so I'm just going to pull an all-nighter and go home and visit my son. He misses me a lot, so a lot of emotion going around. So I had to deal with a lot of that emotion. It was pretty heavy, pretty sad, actually, to see him miss me so much. So I'm going to go be a good dad and spend the weekend with him. Hope you're all doing well. Let's take a look at this weekend with this Sun-Neptune conjunction. It is a Neptunian weekend. That sun's going to be with Neptune all weekend. It's definitely sensitive. It's definitely a lot of dissolving away, if you will. So hopefully not our full identification of where we're going, because we can almost dissolve back into the past in these kind of times and very heavy 12th house transits. And there's a lot of karma going on. I mean, there's even collective karma building with Saturn here at 20. Starting to square these nodes. So, I mean, that's going to get more intense as we go. And I think we're kind of starting to feel this collective karma in a sense in these faded moments here, especially dealing with the nodes in Taurus and Scorpio. We're dealing with value. We're dealing with trust. We're dealing with regenerating energy, letting things from the past go and moving into creating new things in the future. And we're getting closer and closer, of course, to the spring equinox, where it is the astrological new year. So we're starting to really, we're in this, almost coming into this final week of Pisces season. And all right, we got to, I guess, go with the flow, see where we can stay dedicated, see where we can stay in the dream of life that we want to be in, while letting some things fall, letting some things go, and not going too far into the past, but definitely feeling everything. It's definitely a feeling day, especially Saturday with the moon. Of course, in Cancer, it's going to quincunx that Saturn, but it's also going to make really good aspects to the nodes. And it's also going to trine Jupiter, and we're going to get the trine to the Sun and Neptune. So I think Saturday can feel like a really good dream. I mean, it's really beautiful energy when you think about it, but it is like the most sensitive, emotional, watery times. And of course, we're dealing with a Mercury in Pisces. And I'll just remind you guys one more time, -14 for Mercury. Oh yeah, our mind is offline. I was talking to my friend Jenny. It feels like a Mercury retrograde right now. That's how beat down Mercury is in Pisces here, with all this water going on, that it feels like, oh my gosh, what is going on? We can't figure it out. We can't, quantify the universe with a Mercury in Pisces. We can't make sense of our imagination all the time. We can't make sense of all of our feelings all the time. We can definitely be trying to, but it's just a time to feel, and it's a time to surrender and trust that we can keep progressing forward if we find that deeper sensitive identification, but not just dissolve, fully our ego here. Mars is, of course, with Venus still, but Venus is actually moving pretty quick. So Venus is almost up to a degree a day, and Mars is going 44. Mars is ripping at 44 minutes a day, but Venus is going faster now. So there's a degree of separation. And we have to remember, too, that we've seen Venus and Mars together since, I think it was February 2nd. It has been a long, month and a half of Mars and Venus just tight together, where we're trying to push creation. We're trying to identify with relationships. We're trying to work towards a future here. And we're kind of ready to see where the things are going with people that we've met. Where is that future going? Where are we trying to create? And can we still identify with our most individuated self and our uniqueness and feel everything at the same time? But I think that moon quincunx Saturn is definitely bringing up questions of, are we going to show up for ourselves? Are we going to show? Are we feeling comfortable enough in our body to move into a future, to not slip into negative sort of karmic cycles? So I think this weekend is like a very spiritual test in many ways, and that doesn't mean you have to go do anything crazy, but it's just a spiritual test of, yeah, we gotta handle certain things in our life. We gotta kind of keep motivated when a time where we might find that there's not a lot of motivation. So It's very slippery times. But I think too, with the moon making good aspects to the nodes, we're at this place of really feeling into great choices, where we can go into, this new energy, this creative force, really looking at how we can create like this top shelf life. Because really, when we look at the North Node in Taurus, it is about creating a life of finer things, of really valuable things. It's about self-worth, especially when you get a moon in Cancer. I mean, this is really the root of your being, knowing that you are worthy of nice things, whether it's physical or whether it's just self-worth, and knowing that you deserve to have a high level of abundance. And I think spiritually, that's like kind of where an upgrade is this weekend, is really like dissolving those. And then the moon trine Jupiter is definitely really nice because, well, Jupiter's exalted in Cancer, and to have a moon in Cancer dignified with the trine over to a Pisces Jupiter, which is, some would call it exaltation, but others would call it Jupiter's home, because it is Jupiter's, traditional home in Pisces. I think that the gift is in the feeling. The gift is in the emotions that we're putting into the things that make us feel good in life and that do bring us more quality out of our life. And even as we look at this Mars and Venus, they are in semi-square to the Sun and Neptune. So it's like, gosh, there is such it's such a slippery slope. We just want to be very spiritually aware, I think, and really pay attention to what sensitive things are showing up in our life, and try to be as conscious of them as possible, and kind of push for what's going to be more healing or what's going to be more spiritually aligned. I think we're trying to find more of that, and it's through the emotion, not the mind. And we can want to have, just go into ways of figuring a lot out, but we might not come to conscious sort of linear conclusions. I'll be honest, that Mercury is beat up right here. So, take that as you will. And of course, the moon trine, the Sun-Neptune conjunction, like, wow, first time we're going to see the Sun-Neptune meet in this third decan of Pisces, and it comes with a moon trine? Like, oh my gosh. Very, very sensitive energy, but very beautiful, very creative, very subconscious. Like, oh my gosh. Talk about like dreams, talk about like visions, imagination, running wild. And that can be beautiful, of course, or it can be scary. There can be a high level of anxiety. The 12th house Pisces definitely deals with, where we can be a little neurotic or a little anxious in life. So these are these things that we can, maybe look out for. If they come up, know that you're not crazy. This isn't, this is definitely where you don't want to institutionalize yourself or think you're losing it. It's just like, okay, I'm feeling it, surrender, flow, go with the flow. Just let life take you where it's going right now in your own personal life, and be secure in yourself. And you're probably going to come out with this beautiful cleanse that this weekend has to offer. Sunday, of course, the sun will make that pass of Neptune, but it's still right there. Neptune's 2253, so it's like, okay, come into Sunday morning and we get that like actual conjunction. But now we're kind of seeing, I guess, where the spiritual cleanse is taking us. So Sunday it can show a heavy creative force, I think, if we're willing to identify with where that flow of the universe is going. Again, can't really make sense of it, but we can feel it. So the feeling is everything. The moon's going to finish up in Cancer, but it will oppose Pluto. And that definitely is bringing more of that regenerative energy into our life. And I think it can show us a lot of our where we're not giving ourselves enough root chakra energy. Like, I kind of feel that. Where are we ungrounded? How can we kind of shift perspective and change? We do need to focus on the physical. We do, North Node's in Taurus. Uranus just came to 12 degrees. That's a new one too. I mean, we did see it come there before, but Uranus shifted to that 12th degree, which it does shift beliefs in these innovative ways. And with Pluto at 28 degrees, this is the first time we've seen a moon in Cancer oppose Pluto at 28 degrees. So that is first for that. Along with the Sun Neptune in the third decan of Pisces, we are at we're at a very mature level, actually. So I think that's where we can give ourselves a pat on the back and realize that we all have reached this mature level, and we have to feel that security in our root chakra and know that we got this and that we're secure and we're here and that we can still achieve. And there's something about identifying with a dream of life right now that can have achievement and not dissolve you into a past or into a karmic cycle or into, self-detrimental aspects of life. Of course, that moon is going to come into Leo, and it's going to finish off the day with oppositions to Venus and Mars, which 6th degree Venus is my Venus in Aquarius. So I'm having my Venus return this weekend with a Sun-Neptune exactly conjunct too, which is, I don't know, it's kind of funny because I'm a Sun-Neptune conjunction in Capricorn natally. So I just think that's kind of, it's just funny when things come around like that again. But I would say that we're at a place where we want to find the fun, the joy, the happiness in life. And really, I think the moon coming into Leo is going to give us that sense of ego that we do need to kind of step up and kind of get a spotlight on us for the things in life that do make us feel good. And maybe it comes in with relationship stuff. Maybe it comes in with self-worth stuff and having to find the balance between maybe stuff that we did value from the past, but that we don't really value because we're going into a future, and identifying with almost this futuristic self with a Mars in Aquarius and this more individuated self. And I think the moon in Leo is like, okay, we got to have courage to identify with these things this weekend and have courage to be in a flow state. It takes courage to even be in a surrender state. Like sometimes we can be so scared to let go that it does take courage to just kind of, okay, I'm just going to let go and identify with what God's kind of dropping in my lap right now instead of just, just like very egocentric desires. It's definitely desires from a higher, more mature place, I feel, this weekend. Where's that going to go? Of course, when we do get the opposition to Mars with the moon, it is going to quincunx over to this beat down Mercury, which is actually getting a better score on Sunday at a -7. So because of placement and other triplicity stuff, it's not as low. So, the mind comes a little bit more back on Sunday, and then we kind of have to figure out in a weird way our ego and also our surrender. And I think that's the balance point, is trying to figure out where this future is going, where God is trying to open doors, and where are we forcing our way into directions in life right now that really are more of a back pedal than a forward progression. And with all these planets direct and moving fast, and even Venus is going to shift to this fast very, very soon, probably when it goes over a degree a day. So we're right there. So everything is definitely, guns a-blazing, full steam ahead. And I think we need to kind of look at life that way right now and realize that there is more out there. And I don't know. Moon in Leo could definitely have us feeling like excited or happy to move forward, and we want to identify with the most real essence within ourselves. A very deep, sensitive one that does bring us excitement and joy in the unknown without the anxiety of the unknown. I think that can be helpful as well. And yeah, that's what I got for this weekend. Here's my tarot deck. Forgot I put it over there. Sending you all my best this weekend. I hope you have a great one. I'll still be back here Sunday night. Quick trip for me. It's only an hour and 20-minute flight for me to go home. So it's just SoCal to NorCal. I was going to drive, but it's just like there's not enough time. I got to get back here, and honestly, it was cheaper to fly than paying for gas, so that was a factor too. I'm going to use Harley Spencer's Badass Tarot. By the way, she has a really cool Instagram. If you don't know, Harley Spencer Tarot Deck on IG. If you're on there, she posts some really good content. It's funny. She's a funny girl, and I love her deck. I also heard rumors about the Badass Tarot 2 coming soon, which I might pre-order this weekend, to be honest. I'm excited for that deck. All right, what did we get here? The moon card reversed. Oh, yeah. I feel like we can kind of slip into a deep sense of emotion that is kind of like, oh gosh, is this where my subconscious is going? I think dreams are going to be very big this weekend, but we don't want to be scared of them or be fearful of the emotion. I think we want to, accept the emotion, and tides are very high and, maybe a little unstable, but it's not all bad. You never know where something might push you in these waves right now. And just like going with that is very important. Blocking our subconscious or blocking our feelings is definitely not going to do us any favors, especially with this Mercury at fall position. We're not going to be able to just figure it out mentally. So the emotion is very important. Justice reversed. Yeah, no, it does feel like there's just not a lot of justice right now. It is what it is, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist. There is always a balance in life, and I think it's just more about realizing that justice is within and not without, and you're going to have to feel it for yourself and not expect it elsewhere. 10 of Wands. That looks heavy. Man. I suppose we really are also dropping a lot of weight from the past, letting go of some things. We don't have to carry so much, so that could be part of the disillusion, if you will, with the Sun Neptune, especially in Pisces here, is like we can dissolve things that we've already gone through. We've made it through chapters for a reason. We can start fresh and let go. We don't have to hold on so tight and weigh ourselves down because maybe we're searching for justice outside of us or hoping that something just shows up and this is the justice we're looking for. Like you got justice within you. It's just, that's what we could be scared of with the moon reverse too, is like, I don't want to feel all this stuff, but that's where we find justice. And that's where we realize that the justice and those balance beams within ourselves actually show us where we can take some weight off the scale that maybe has us out of balance. And the final card is, wow, 5 of Swords, game over. Game over. Yeah, because those games are over. And I think it's time to realize that we are about to start a very important game. It's a new game, and I think it can be exciting. Like, I remember when I used to play video games a lot. Like, you buy a video game, you don't know exactly what's going to show up in the game. Like, you got to play it. So let's get ready to turn on the game or even hit the reset button and start over and kind of have that, like, youthful energy here without feeling like, we don't got it. I feel like we kind of want to have that sort of competitive swagger in a sense this weekend and be like, yeah, you know what? I can dissolve the past. I can feel things. I can balance things out. And the game's never truly over. It's just about starting fresh to get to the next chapter. Maybe we finish the chapter and that chapter's over and it's about the next one. I love you all very much. I hope you have a beautiful weekend, and I'll see you for all the weekly reports on Sunday. Much love. Peace.